What's good? Welcome back to the channel. I am Saldablerd, and today I'm gonna title this video, "You're Not Childish Enough." And what do I mean by that? Before I get into this conversation, please drop a comment. Let me know where you're from, and make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. But you're not childish enough in life. You're not childish enough for your manifestations. You're not childish enough to accomplish your desires. You're not childish enough to chase your dreams. You see, in this civilization that we live in, we're told to lose that childhood essence at a very young age. You have to be mature, you have to be mature. But what is truly maturity? As an adult, I realize being mature is just handling my business. That doesn't mean that I can't have fun. That doesn't mean that I can't have imagination. That doesn't mean that I can't still have dreams and aspirations. But we lose all of that trying to fit into society and fit this image of an adult. You see, we stop dreaming, we stop chasing our desires because we're not childish enough. And we want to fit in, we want to be mature. I have to be mature and get this job and pay these bills because that is the way it goes. Sometimes the way it goes is put into place in order to keep you going that way. You see, if everyone's following the wrong path, it seems like the right path because everyone going down it. But sometimes you got to blaze that path of your own, be childish, go against the norms. And I'm not saying be childish as in not taking care of your business or being immature, because you could be, there's very mature children that still have that childlike spirit. They say God blesses the children. God blesses also the fool because the fool is childish. You see, childishness to me is, yes, I'm an adult. Yes, I take care of my business. Yes, I do the things needed, but that does not mean I can't have fun. That does not mean that I'm not going to dream big and chase my dreams and put my full intent into achieving my desires, because I am childish and I do believe in my dreams and aspirations. No one else has to believe in it. This is my own make-believe world until it's not make-believe no more. And then everyone want to chase your dreams once they see that it's possible. But you have to be childish enough to know that it's possible. I got one of my favorite animes is Joy Boy. Not Joy Boy, but Luffy. He's the reincarnation of a deity in the show called Joy Boy. And Luffy is one of the most childish characters on the show. But yeah, he's also the most serious character on the show. He protects his friends. He protects his dreams. He protects his aspirations. And he has so much belief that he will be the Pirate King, even though there's so many people that want to be the Pirate King and no one thinks that it will be him. But he's adamant in what he believes in, just like me. I'm adamant in the things that I believe in. When you lose that childhood essence within yourself, you stop having dreams. You stop really dreaming. And dreaming is so important because in our dreams, sometimes we don't meditate enough. And your dreams are like meditation. Sometimes God talks to you. He shows you things. And if you're not childish, you just think it's a mere coincidence and you don't have the belief. But with that childlike spirit, you gain the belief again, because all of this stuff that they say is fake and unknown, you start to know that it's deeper meaning behind it. Sometimes they just don't want us to see our own power. You see, being childish will help you keep your creativity. Children are some of the most creative people on this planet because they have limitless imagination. But when you put yourself in that box, I am an adult, I am mature, I don't have time for these games, you lose your creativity. You lose that spark within you. You just become dull. And it's important to have creativity, because how can you create without creativity? There's a lot of people that say they're creators, that say they do all of these things, but all they do is copy someone else's method. All they do is copy what they see. That's not truly being creative. I see if you copy what someone else do and you add your own twist with your creativity, that's innovation. But the true creative people have childlike spirits. Think of some of the most successful people in the world, actors and rappers. They're all so lively. Although they may have images sometimes as if they're not as childish as they seem, but some of the most successful people have that childlike spirit still. And you have to differentiate being childish and being immature, because there are plenty of adults that aren't childish, that are quote unquote adults, but are very immature. And we like to classify that as them being childish, but no, it's just them being immature. immature man can have all the creativity in the world while tapping into his childishness and while tapping into that creativity. Because, like I said, kids are some of the most creative people on this planet. But if you kill that side of you, you're killing that inner spark. How will you create? How will you imagine the next great thing? How will you imagine yourself in the future if you're not even able to imagine, because all you can see is what you see? Walk by faith and not by sight. But so many of us close off to faith. We turn off faith and we only go by what we see. So I see that if everyone is going to work, everyone is doing a job, this is how it goes, I'm going to follow that route. But sometimes it's the path less traveled that you need to travel, especially if you want to be successful, especially if you want to accomplish the things that is in your mind's eye, if your mind's eye is even open. You see, a lot of people pray, and they pray and they pray for all of these things. But let's talk about prayer versus meditation. You see, prayer is talking to God, and we are electromagnetic beings. We vibrate at different levels depending on your alignment. So if you're someone that is vibrating on a low level and you're always praying and you're not even living life the right way, God will ignore you. And some of us, it's not even that we are low vibrational, but it's that all we do is talk, 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 and we never take the time to listen. That's why meditation is so important. You see, praying is talking to God. Yes, we need to talk to God. We need to speak to God. We need to be connected with God. But God speaks too. And if you're not able to meditate, you'll never hear the voice of God. That's why it's important to practice meditation. Let that be a guided meditation. Let that be walking in nature. There's so many different ways to meditate, because meditation truly is just clearing your mind, clearing all of the excess noise from your mind. You see, when you first start a meditation, especially when you're early on in meditation, you'll hear your thoughts. You'll just, things will pop up in your mind, but you got to silence all of that. And once you truly silence all that, you'll get a deeper connection with your higher self. You'll get a deeper connection with God, and you'll be able to hear the voice of God. And this is where God pours into you. This is where God puts you on your path. This is where you get them true spiritual downloads. But if you're not even vibrating on the right frequency, if you're a low vibrational person and you're trying to do this, you're not tapping in with God, you're tapping in with demons and devil instead of the angels and God, because the angels and gods are higher frequency. They're the frequency of love. And if you don't have the love in your heart, you're a hateful individual. It's harder for you to tap into that childlike spirit. It's harder for you to tap into that creativity because your heart is so cold. That's why the pureness of the heart is the connection to God, because God is within us all. Love is within us all, but some of us deny that. And once you deny that, you deny God. And when you deny God, you make room for the negativity. You make room for the devil. You make room for jealousy to enter you. And all of these lower vibrations invites lower vibrational entities. So you must be aware of all of these things. Stay true to self. Just because I say be childish, it doesn't mean that you have to play video games. It doesn't mean that you have to watch cartoons. It just means that you have to be humble within self. You have to be, as I say, as free as a child, just open to things that doesn't always make sense. You have to be open to the things that we can't see, because faith is trust in the unknown. But if you walk by sight, you'll never trust the unknown, because they say if you can't see it, you can't believe it. Seeing is believing. But seeing isn't always believing when you have faith. Seeing isn't believing at all when you have faith, because faith is trusting in the unknown. And that goes into the optimistic and the pessimistic person. The pessimistic person, when you're on your journey, sometimes God will call you into isolation. Sometimes God will blow up everything that you have, your whole foundation, and you may go through lack. You may go through constant losing people, losing places that was once close to you, losing people that was once close to you, losing relationships, losing jobs. And you see, when you walk by sight, all you see is the negativity. And when you are a pessimistic person, you focus on the negativity and you feel as if your world is ending. And the more you focus on the negativity, the more you manifest the negativity, because all is mind, the universe is mental. So now, mentally, all you see is negativity, and all you will manifest is negativity, and you begin a cycle of negativity. And throughout the cycle of negativity, if things are always going bad for you, it's hard to have faith. It's hard to have that trust in God, because you already fell from grace. But the optimistic person, although they're going through all of these things, they look at the silver lining. They look at the positive things. Maybe that person that got taken away from me wasn't good for me. At least I was able to eat today, although I lost my car. At least I have a warm place to stay, although I lost my job. And you always got to look for that silver lining, that piece of bliss, because they're always going to be that. And even when it isn't, that's when faith kicks in. You must trust the unknown. Sometimes in our three-dimensional reality, when things happen to us, we always take it as negative. But sometimes things are removed, things happen to us for our benefit. And you have to have faith. You have to have that childlike spirit in order to believe in the unknown. But if you can't do that, you'll fall back into the pessimistic mindset and constantly create negativity. It's important to be optimistic. Optimistic is the same thing as having faith. Even if you're not a religious person and you don't even know what you're doing, the fact that you're optimistic means that you're always trying to stay in a positive mindset. Like I said, all is mind. The universe is mental. So if I'm always in a positive mindset, I have a positive mind. That means I'm manifesting positivity. Even if I'm going through negativity at the moment, I'm manifesting positivity because I keep a positive mind. And children, look at civilizations where there's a lot of poorness, where there's a lot of lack of abundance, where there's a lot of negativity. The children's spirit is usually not broken. The children can thrive in these environments, not saying that they're thriving, but mentally, they don't understand the negativity around them, especially if they're born into this. So you have happy children in poor situations and miserable parents. And that parent can teach that child the misery, or that parent can let the child live in that positive mindset. And being in that positive mindset, they will attract positivity. That's why it's important to keep control of your mind, to stay positive. These children are able to go through the darkest times with a smile on their face. And you must be strong enough to do the same. And if you're not able to do that, you lost your childlike spirit. You don't have faith. You're lacking the optimistic point of view. And that's why having a childlike spirit is very essential. Even throughout hard times, you can find positivity if you choose to lean towards faith. If you choose to keep that optimistic mind. But the thing about all of this is we're human. And we have what they say, freedom of will. We have our own decision making. We can choose to be optimistic or we can choose to be pessimistic. We can choose to be negative or we can choose to be positive. We can choose to be childlike in the spirit or we can choose to abandon that to fit in or to condemn that because I'm an adult. This is how things must go. A lot of adults that lose their childlike spirit, they want to make other people lose that childlike spirit because they're miserable. And misery loves company. So if I already threw my divinity away, if I already gave up on life, and I see this person my age so happy with the least amount of things, just always positive, of course I would want to crush that positivity because I'm miserable. And when I'm miserable, I want you to feel like me. I'm not going to be feeling good about myself when I see you having the greatest experience ever, yet we're in the same situation. You see, they talk about the multiverse, the universe, and the multiverse. Reality is subjective to a certain degree. Yes, the things we see and experience are similar, but how we see and experience them is our own. That's what makes this reality multi-dimensional, because you can be standing right next to a person having the exact same experience and they can be miserable because of what they're going through, because of the pessimistic mindset. And you could be having the greatest experience of your life. Although you're experiencing the same thing, you're in two completely universes side by side from each other. So make sure you stay in tune with self. Make sure you're honest with yourself. Make sure that you give yourself grace. And make sure that you don't pay attention to the things that are happening to you to the point where you let them overwhelm you. Keep faith, stay optimistic, and be childlike. For our adults, are the fool.